Ayo, J. Cole, Drake and Kendrick is that way, but why you riding your bike that way? Now, Rory and Mal, there's no way to say that J. Cole didn't take a heavy hit with the way he handled this battle. If you gotta push one of the most awaited projects back because of how you decided to go about the battle at Dreamfest, you tapping out the battle, that is a ridiculous hit. When do you ever prosper by not giving the audience what they expected from you? Especially after 15 years of the Big Three battle being hyped up, the fall off is not going the way he intended. He's literally being left out of the conversation also.
I do think what has paused this album coming out is I think he needed to rewrite some bars. I think there was a lot of bars on there that he would look nuts saying. I think he had records that were done. We about to send these shits to mastering, but you gonna sound nuts saying that.
Like what though?
Big shout out to Rory and Mal, Demaris, but yeah, deadass. If you gotta change up the formula, the subject matter, the recipe of what you're cooking up, why are we acting like that's not a serious problem?
My life be like.
But I know J. Cole is completely capable and has proven that every song he does not need to be braggadocious. I think he just had to pivot a bit, and that's what's pushed this album back. Because he can't get, like, if you go through, what is it, 95 South? 95 South, the intro to the project, he getting his shit off on that.
No, we know Cole can rap.
Rory says that J. Cole can still boast and brag in a different way, but how? On top of him being left out of the conversation, he still didn't drop something. And Drake is still moving, touring, dropping music that's charting. Kendrick Lamar is doing the same thing. J. Cole is literally being left out of the narrative. After coming up off of an L, what J. Cole did is wow. I'm not sure if his next project is gonna have the same distribution that Clip's project has, but he'll need to do something like that. He'll need to take a completely different approach. And on top of acts like Tyler the Creator dropping, the marketplace is still active and moving and thriving. When the marketplace starts thriving without you, that's a whole other L within itself. Demaris throws out that angle of J. Cole reflecting on the conversation, and
that also you're an asshole. That also opens up another lane or another direction for him to go, where that might be some things that he changed too, because like you said, Cole specializes in vulnerability, and a very vulnerable thing happened to him in this entire battle and beef and whatever. That opened up a whole nother lane for him to create and talk about, and looking at the aftermath of this battle, what hip hop looks like now.
He can't do that. He can't talk about the
Mal is underestimating how vulnerable and soft this new generation is.
No. I'm definitely not. I get it.
Eat up that vulnerability.
But I'm just saying. All right, let me just say for me, Jermaine Cole better not be on his album talking about anything about that battle.
But I'm not even talking about just the actual battle. I'm talking about it could be post-battle, his journey, how he's dealing with the internet and the things that they say.
He got post-battle syndrome.
Yeah, listen, man, sometimes you gotta take a mental health day.
He could approach the music like that. The audience doesn't want to hear that angle from J. Cole. Like Mal kind of alluded to. We've never seen somebody do what J. Cole did at the apex of a battle, keeping in mind that the 7-minute drill was fire, and he still didn't capitalize off that moment as of yet. Bruh. But if we throw in like a HP bar in this, and we say that it's J. Cole's clout bar, J. Cole's clout bar right now is at like 15%. But you never know. You know, like when you playing a video game and your HP is down and the person you fighting is on your ass and you about to go back to the menu, but then you start pushing buttons, you start doing combos that you forgot about, and then you actually win the game. Yeah, J. Cole has to do something like that right now. J. Cole has to push the exact right buttons. He has to do that. He's in an unprecedented position right now. Kendrick already demolished the Big Three. Drake ain't on no Big Three. He ain't shouting out J. Cole. I don't even know if he even performing any of his songs with J. Cole. J. Cole's next project has to be an absolute undeniable piece of work. Once again, you'll never lose your core fan base, right? But J. Cole's core fans have an emotional attachment to the music. which is what I think Rory was alluding to.
Everyone that's a core Cole fan would tell you that Love Yours is why they're a fan over the Looking for Trouble verse. Like, yeah, Cole has had a large part of his career of him popping shit and rapping better than everyone and saying you can't rap as good as me, but that's not what built Cole's career.
That had a huge part in it.
It was a good stat.
Because your fans start to believe it.
It was a
they
good
start
stat
to say it with you. They
because-
rap.
If you gotta adjust your musical narrative, like how J. Cole gotta adjust his position and his perspective when he's making music,
He has to completely change the way he writes his bars now.
Yes, but
right?
that does not end
So he
his
has to take
career.
out the braggadocious, I'm the best. If a rapper doesn't have that in his bars, if a rapper can't pop his shit, what can he do? Tell us about him losing his virginity again?
look, we gotta come up with a new name for like that. This is the first case of somebody on such a high level prospering off not giving the people what they wanted. It's not like this was something that was like 1 year, 2 year, 2 months. Yo, this was 15 years. This was 15 years of the audience expecting that they was gonna get this triple threat big three battle.
Hey yo, what the hell?
And then J. Cole, just one of the top contenders, don't even show up to the battlefield. Like, you rode your bike away, man. Come on, man.
My life be like.
And Demaris saying that J. Cole raps better than all these rappers. That conversation of lyricism, bars, rapping, that whole conversation could be distorted and rearranged very soon. So J. Cole rapping better than everybody? Well, we'll see about that. And what if the industry was just pushing that narrative? Now, J. Cole will always be respected. I have a tremendous amount of respect for J. Cole. There is a new generation of artists and a new generation of audience here. They're not attached to that narrative the same way, especially if you've been tapped in since like the blog era. Y'all know dang well that the conversation is moving. J. Cole, I'm not gonna say that his career is unrecoverable, but there's not many things he can do. He has to do something that makes the whole world freeze and marvel at. We already had pity on him for being the middle child. He was supported on his run. Maybe on JID album, he'll have a moment stopping feature. But if it's not that, if it's not like Kendrick on the Control verse or Drake on the Back to Back or the Family Matters or the Not Like Us, like if J. Cole can't recreate a verse that just stops everything, like I'm at a loss for words, because that was shocking. Now, if his plan was to fall off and then drop the fall off like this, then good job. Like I know J. Cole is a genius, so if you really planned on doing this and then you have the music to match, cause yeah, J. Cole was nominated for a Grammy. Like, that album that he dropped, Might Delete Later, that album was amazing. If J. Cole, he knows how to make great music, but we're talking, can you make like, talk about your real relationship with Jay? You know, like, yo, and look, I don't know if you want to throw Jay under the bus. You know, maybe J. Cole could give us some bars about Kanye. He already did that. So what can J. Cole really do at this point to make the whole world freeze for a second? America, y'all let me know in the comments. And big ups Rory and Mal and Demaris, right? Y'all know, let me know in the comments. Holla, it's SuperTube. Yeah.